So here's the thing. I've been thinking about this all day. Since at work, I was sitting in the break room and a coworker made some insensitive comments, and I usually stay quiet. But I couldn't. He was going on saying that people who carry weapons and women who carry weapons deserve what happens to them. That if you carry a weapon, it's your fault if you get hurt. That if you are carrying a weapon, then odds are you're doing something that you shouldn't and you deserve it. Now, that's its own thing. That's a whole different thing. But 3 years ago, I was exiting a college class on my college campus, and I had a classmate walking near me, and I knew him. He had asked me out. I told him no. I wasn't dating anyone at the time. I didn't want to. I had gotten out of a really nasty relationship, and I just kind of wasn't ready yet. It happens. You gotta have time. Well, I want to say didn't accept that, but who really knows? It was getting dark. It was about 7 p.m. and he pushed me against a wall. And he attacked me. That's the way I like to say it. I fought. I had a can of mace in my bag that did me no good. I couldn't get to it. I had always thought that if need be, I could protect myself. But I couldn't. I was not prepared for that. I wasn't. And my coworker told me, and we talked about it, that, sorry, this is hard for me. He was saying that women who carry weapons, knives, mace, guns, if they get hurt, if they get killed, if they get raped, then they were probably doing something that they shouldn't have been, and then they deserved it. He told me that I deserved it. Now, at the time, he didn't know my past. He didn't know my history. It's not something I go broadcasting. It's not something I talk about. Because it's painful. Because I sat down here to make this, and I said I was going to say what happened, and I'm stumbling. I can't. It's been 3 years. I tried to press charges against my attacker. I knew him. And the police didn't believe me. They somehow saw on his computer. I don't know if he showed them. I don't know if they found it. I don't know. But they saw he had pictures of me. Pictures he took off my Facebook. My summer bikini pictures, which, let's face it, I'm not exactly the prettiest, so I know they're not great. But pictures of me sitting in class that I didn't even know he had. Pictures of me hanging out with friends. Stalkery pictures. And their interpretation of that, when I'm quoting the cop here, I will never not hear these words in my head when I think about this. He asked me, "Are you sure you're not just some jaded lover that got dumped and is now trying to get back at him?" They took those pictures and they showed them to me, and they asked me if I was a jaded lover trying to get back at him. No justice was found for me. He went on and he attacked two other women. 2. One he raped. The other I don't know what happened to. He raped another woman. A week after I had to drop my charges, because he was trying to push criminal charges against me for saying that he attacked me for slandering him because I was telling people that he attacked me. For trying to press charges against him because he attacked me. And so here's my coworker sitting there telling me that I was probably only attacked because I was doing something that I deserved to be attacked for. I was coming home from class. I was going home. I was leaving class. I was going home. I wasn't in a relationship. I was going home. I was seeing a few people. I was dating people, but I had nothing serious. That was my attacker's excuse. That I was seeing people, but I wouldn't see him. Because I didn't want to. I didn't want to see him. And I want to date him, and that should have been fine. I've been rejected by people, and I have gotten rejected, and I have rejected people. Your reaction should never be to shove them against the wall and try to force themselves on you. That should never be a reaction. But it was his. So this coworker, I tell him, you don't know what it's like. You've never been there. You don't know. And he tells me, oh yeah? I've been there. And for a split second, I think, really? You've been there? Okay. You know what? Okay. It happens to men. I am not undermining a man's right to be a victim. But here's the thing. He proceeded to say after that, the other day I was sitting in my car and some hoodlums of race were standing on the corner, and I was worried that they might try to steal my car and mug me. And that's probably the same fear that you felt when you were attacked. And I knew that I was driving through a bad neighborhood, and if they mugged me, then it would be my own fault. And so you were probably walking somewhere where you shouldn't have been, and that's why you got attacked. It was your own fault. Just like it would have been my fault had I been mugged while sitting in my car while those individuals of race mugged me. I can't even speak. It makes me so mad. He compared me fighting for my life, and I truly believe in my heart of hearts, in my soul of souls, that night I fought for my life. I believe if I did not fight, and if I did not scratch, and I did not hit, and I did not kick, that I would have been raped and dead. I had bruises across my chest. I had ripped my clothes. He tore my shirt open, broke my bra, ripped my skirt, and it was a knee-length skirt. It was not a short skirt. I felt I felt cute in a little hippie way. I had a long skirt on. Because I was walking home, I deserved it. And that is the same fear that he felt while sitting in his car. Because two people of race, those are his words, not mine, his words. Two people of race happened to be standing on the corner. Those people were probably checking their phone, playing Pokemon Go, doing whatever their age group does. Probably wasn't even thinking about attacking an Indian man in his car. A 40-year-old Indian man stopped at a stoplight, stop sign, whatever have you, sitting in his car. Probably that was the furthest thought from their minds. Now, I can't speak for them because I don't know them. I wasn't there. But I can tell you, I've driven in my car through some not so great neighborhoods. And I've never just seen random people and thought, you know what, they probably want to steal my car. I'm afraid. And you know what? Here's the thing. He's in a car. Lock the door. Drive away. You're fine. Just get out of the area. Me. I was pressed against a wall. I was grabbed. I was held. and I fought. But that's the same as him sitting in his car, right? And you know what? Because I was going home from class, I totally deserved it, right? It's been 3 years, and I still have nightmares. And right now it's 2 a.m. and I have to work tomorrow. But I can't sleep because I can't get this out of my head. Because this is rape culture. This is a culture. And this isn't right. This is someone telling me that I probably deserved to be attacked. That I probably would have deserved to be raped. This is my attacker and 2 other women's attacker. We share the same attacker. This is him getting off scotch-free because the police turned it into a he said, she said. I gave them the ripped clothes. I went home that night and I sat on my floor and I cried. And my mother, I still lived at home at the time. My mother came up to me and she goes, Allison, what happened? And I sobbed. I couldn't even talk. I sobbed. And I told her, through the middle of sobs, crying, I told her. And she told me, first thing tomorrow, you're going to the police. And I told her, I don't want to. I just want to forget this happened. And she told me, no, you are going to the police. You are turning him in. So she took my clothes, ripped clothes. She took me to the police. They took my clothes, they sat me down, they talked to me. They spent maybe 15 minutes asking me what was going on. They asked if I scratched him. I told them, yeah, I scratched. I fought. I stomped. I did everything but bite, and that is simply because I can't reach with my mouth farther enough and down to where his hands were. I did everything I could to break free because I heard in the things he was saying to me, I heard in the way he was holding me, and I knew if I didn't fight, I was going to not make it out of there. I knew. I knew. You didn't have to tell me. He was telling me, but you don't have to tell me. In my heart of hearts, in my soul of souls, I knew. Now it's been almost 3 years. I'm happily in a relationship now, but it took me a while to get there. I did some self-destructive shit after that. I had an unsupportive family. My mom was supportive. She was great. Up until a point where she told me that I just needed to move on. And like that, the support ended. I wanted to go to counseling. But I'm in Sacramento, California, and our counseling for victims without great insurance, like college kids usually have, is shit. It is overcrowded, underfunded, understaffed. There are wait lines that wrap around buildings. It's crap. I wanted to do what I could. So you know what? I did some unhealthy things. I did some self-destructive things. And I buried that shit. And I buried it in a dark cave in my heart. Because I had to. Because the support ended. Because people moved on and I was struggling too. Because I had the police ruining my police case. I had always had faith in the police growing up. My next door neighbor was a cop. And I still think he's a great cop. I see shit he does on Facebook. But those police. And I will never forget that lead detective. His face. I will never. As he made me go to the spot where I was attacked and reenact it, and he made me put his hands on me where he was attacked, where I was attacked, and he made me go there and try to reenact it, as he constantly second-guessed me, as He told me that it became a he said, she said, and I had no justice because his penis did not go inside of me because I fought. He told me there was no evidence of me fighting because I took a shower when I got home because I couldn't even stand to be in my own skin. He told me I probably inflicted the bruises upon myself and ripped up my own clothes. He told me that I was a jaded lover who was probably upset for getting dumped. He told me I was ruining a young man's life who had been going to college and was trying to better himself. And this is not an issue of race. This is not about the hoodlums of race. This is not about the Indian man who thinks that sitting in his car is the equivalent of being held against a wall. This is not about the fact that I am a white woman and my attacker was a black man. It is not about the fact that the lead cop was white. It is not about the secondary cop being Mexican laughing as the lead cop made me go through it again. It's about the fact that I am a woman and I was attacked by a man and I got no justice. And 3 years later, another man sat in the break room of a workplace that I will not mention the name of because I do enjoy my job. And he told me that I deserved it. This man has a daughter. She is young. I don't know the exact age. I don't talk that much to him. He has a young daughter who's growing up with a father like that. That disturbs me. The lack of justice disturbs me. The fact that I got turned into a jaded lover from a victim because I wouldn't go out with a guy. Because my right to say no was taken away from me. Because my body should have been a temple, and myself the only goddess who got to decide what happens to it. Who gets to touch it? Who gets to worship this? Got taken away. My right to myself got taken away. And in this culture, I get to listen to people talk about how I was probably doing something to deserve it. That is what's wrong with rape culture. That is what's wrong with this. It's been 3 years and I still have nightmares and I never got the counseling I needed, but I took self-defense classes and I carry a knife, and if I ever were to get in any kind of situation like that again, I'd like to think that I am better prepared and that I will cut the bastard's balls off. Because I am the goddess of this temple and I am the only one who should ever be allowed to decide who or what comes into it. And you get no say in that. And I didn't deserve it. My grades suffered. I couldn't go to that class. I couldn't see that teacher. I had another class with that teacher and I dropped them both because I couldn't bear to see her. I couldn't bear it. I did everything I could, and you know what I got? I got a letter from the school saying that they would appreciate if I didn't tell lies, because if I continued this pursuit, I would be expelled from the college that I was going to. And if I didn't drop my case, they were suing me, my attacker would be suing me, and the police would be pursuing a case against me for wrongful accusation. Because I got attacked one night trying to go home from school. And 3 years later, I got to listen to an ignorant ass hat tell me that I deserved it, and tell me that my experience, that being shoved against a wall and my clothes ripped, that fighting for what I believe is my life, is the same as him thinking he might get mugged in a bad neighborhood while sitting in a car. So say what you will. And I know you're going to say a lot. And because of that, because of my fellow employee, what happened to me is now out at my work. It's not something I broadcast, but it's not something I deny. I will not be the one who hides my attack. I spent plenty of time denying it happened. I spent plenty of time finding comfort in self-destructive means. And yes, I do mean alcohol. I do not mean drugs. And I spent plenty of time self-destructing over it before I decided that I needed to move on. And I have not been able to fully heal from this, because how can you heal from having your face shoved into brick? How can you heal from going to feeling ignorantly safe to not being able to walk around at night? How can you feel that way? I know this video's been long, but I had to get it out. And now that it's out at my work, I figured, what the fuck? Let's throw it into the ether. I'm gonna throw this video at the internet, and if it sticks, then maybe one more message will get out there. One more case of where justice was not served. One more example of someone who, just because I didn't get his penis inside of me, my case is only assault and battery with a tint of sexual demeanor. That's what it is. Because I fought for my life, my case wasn't taken seriously. And I'm not saying that rape victims, people who actually have it put in, are any better or any less, because I feel raped. I know if it had been, I would be so much worse, and I'm not trying to say that that's not apples and oranges, but it is at the same time. It's a completely different level. It's words I cannot say. It's words that I can't mix. But I was attacked by someone I knew. And he did intend to rape me. And I had no justice. And I did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. Culture did me wrong. Rape culture did. And I just hope someone out there watches this and it resonates with them and it gives them some kind of strength, because I know it's hard and I know what you go through. I know. But this is my story, and I'm sorry for the long video, and I'm sorry that it went all over the place. I had to throw something out there because it's almost 2 a.m. and I can't sleep and I have work in the morning. So, good luck to everyone out there. And be safe, everyone. Man, woman, child, be safe and be good to each other. For the love of God, let's change this shit. Change rape culture. Because it's not good. It's creating monsters. Have a pleasant night. Be safe.